He's a certified coach speaker, which is one of his great passions, and trainer with the John Maxwell team. He's also an active member of the Maxwell Mentorship Team and serves on the organization's President's Advisory Council. He's a 2013 President-elect of the International Coach Federation Columbus Charter Chapter. Today, Chris will be speaking on how is coaching different. Let's welcome Chris Warren.
Greetings. Greetings. It is good to be here. You guys got plenty of food, hopefully just a couple of minutes ago. Too much food, is it going to make it really tough on me? Hopefully not. We'll see. I am really thankful to be here. I have not been to a Toastmaster conference before. I've been a part of Toastmasters for about a year and a half at this point in time. I'm thankful to Shirley McPherson. Some of you probably know Shirley. Shirley was a member of the club that I was a part of in Columbus, Ohio, and said, you know what? A district conference is coming up. You ought to submit your name and see if you can speak about coaching based on the conversations that Shirley and I had. So I'm very thankful to Shirley. I'm thankful to the Toast What Matters Club there in Columbus, the club that I'm a part of now, that Tim's a part of, called Beer Breakers. So just recently, I think it was September 19th, I did my 10th speech to be officially a competent communicator. So, really isn't that big in my mind. I remember that day and that time, right? Gave a presentation actually back at Chase. So I'm thankful to my creator for giving me the opportunity to be here. I'm thankful to Toastmasters. And I'm also very thankful to the John Maxwell team. I have joined the John Maxwell team in addition to Toastmasters, and I've gotten so much great content, encouragement, and support out of them as well as Toastmasters. They have been a great 1-2 punch. So I am really excited and thankful to be here and to have a chance to talk about a topic that I think is really confusing. I think when people hear coaching, they think a variety of different things. I work with people often as a coach that have the following types of situations they're dealing with. One is they can be stuck, sick and tired stuck. They know they want to go toward a goal, but they are just kind of clueless about how to move forward. So they're sitting there very stuck. The other situation is often they know exactly what they need to do, and I can't seem to do it. I don't actually have to go learn more information. You know, I want to lose weight. I don't really need to read to learn that I probably ought to eat less and exercise more. But the reality is, I'm not doing that. A coach plays a significantly different role in somebody's life than you may be thinking today. The analogy that I would use is I believe that a coach is different in the sense that it delivers true results faster than other ways that we try to help people. We so often want to jump in and help someone, and in coaching, you're going to get a sense of how it's a different approach to working with people. It is so different. I think of the analogy. How many of us have been sitting at a table with a friend or a group of friends and we're venting about something, and somebody jumps in and says, hey, you just need to read this book. You know what? I've got a friend you need to go talk to. There's this club that you should go join. How many of us have been the friend on the other side? We've heard a friend venting about something, and we've got the solution for them. So, you know what you need to do? When I was going through that situation, I just did this, this, and this. You just need to go do that. Or, you know what? I heard about so-and-so, they did that. Or I saw something on TV. You should call them. So we jump in and we attempt to solve somebody else's problem. Coaching, in contrast to pouring something into someone, like a medicine to help heal them, is much more like an oil well. It's a drawing out from within them. I'm going to read a line here in a minute, the official definition of coaching from the International Coach Federation, which I think is a very powerful analogy. We'll take a look at it here in a minute. So, the name of the speech is, what is coaching different than, or what's different than? If if you think in terms of what it could be different than, I got a little matrix that I put together. Is coaching just another buzzword for things that you've seen or heard in the past? You know, gee, I got a mentor, that's a coach. I got a counselor, that's a coach. I got a best friend who listens to me a whole lot and tells me what I should do, that's a coach. Or an official facilitator. I would encourage you to consider the fact that it's a radically different role than what we just talked about. The analogies that I've got up here. A counselor deals with the past. Somebody is meeting with you to deal with something that you're frustrated with or a problem you've had in the past, and they're going to help you try to learn how to resolve that. That is not a coach. A consultant, again, is dealing with problems that you have. Is somebody that's going to say, I've got a program that I can take you through to help you get to where you want to get. A mentor is somebody that's already where you want to be. You align yourself with a mentor so that you can become what they are. And basically, if they learn how to get there, then you probably can too. A line I heard from John Maxwell recently that I thought was really good. A guy got in line and came up to him and said, I want to do what you're doing. I want to do what you're doing. And John's response was, are you willing to do what I've done? To do what I'm doing? The reality is that's what a mentor does. It's somebody that you follow in their footsteps to get to be where they are. That is not a coach. The next one I've got down is a teacher, trainer, or facilitator. This is a case where somebody's got a program. You know, you sign up for the program and you learn what that program is all about, and you go through it. I'm going to become a better salesperson. I go through a sales program. I'm going to become a better communicator. I go through a communications program. So that is also not a coach. How about a good friend? I've got a coach. It's Mary. Mary sits and listens to me vent every week. That's my coach. Okay? So in the case of a best friend, one of the big contrasts that I would say in contrast to a coach is a best friend is not going to bring certain things up. You know what I'm not going to bring up as a best friend? I am no way going to tell you something that's going to need to make me change. You know, somebody's dealing with smoking and their best friend smokes, and it's like, you got to stop smoking, you know? And it's like, what about you? What's going on? What do you think? You know? The bottom line is, they're not going to bring things up that are going to need to make them change. They often offer advice, and they put pressure on you to follow through on their advice because they're your best friend, and they want you to follow through with it. So they're not going to put themselves at risk. They also just have certain things that they just are not willing to bring up with you because it could put the relationship at risk. So there are a number of things that you're not going to get from a best friend. A best friend is not a coach. So we've talked a significant amount about the fact that a coach doesn't do all these things. What in the world is left? What does a coach do when you have problems? A coach is somebody that works side by side with you as a partner and helps you focus on the present and the future. A coach does not deal with the past. When I get into a coaching session with someone, if they start to go down a path of, well, based on when I was growing up, it's like, you know what? You need to see a counselor, not a coach. A coach is going to talk about the present and the future. It's going to draw out from within a person by asking questions. So it is a significantly different approach than what you would have with so many other roles. I wanted to read the official definition of a coach, and I think I have it right here. Well, I won't read it. All of my preparation, and I still don't have that. So the reality is the definition in the International Coach Federation talks about how a coach is a partner, assumes that the expert on Mary is Mary, not somebody outside. So when you go to solve an issue that Mary's dealing with, giving Mary a solution from the outside is not the way to solve the problem. It's to have Mary look at her situation and identify solutions that will work for her. So One, in the paragraph description for the International Coach Federation, there is a list at the bottom that says, what's the coach's responsibility? So you can see, to discover, clarify, and align what the client wants to achieve. We, sometimes, like to have solutions, and we know what other people's problems are. So when we know what other people's problems are, we're going to jump in and help them. And we're probably even going to do it out of a good heart. But so often, when we do that, we don't get the results we were hoping to get. It's like the motive was right, but the way we tried to execute it was very, very weak. So rather than saying, John, you know, you're just in terrible condition. Maybe your weight's fine, but you're in terrible condition. You got to get to a gym. You got to find a way to build this into your life. As a coach, when I meet with somebody, I only go where their motivation is. So my question when I would meet with an individual, and these are all things, I'm going to share a number of concepts that you can apply personally to your life, both to you as well as to the people around you, because you can have an influence on others. You can also use an official professional coach like me or someone else, but you can apply these concepts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say to John, what is it that's on your mind that you're frustrated with that you want to deal with? John might very well say, hey, you know, you always know, and you make comments to me time and time again about the fact that I'm not in good health and I probably should exercise, but I'll tell you what, the thing that's been on my mind is my relationship with my son, my oldest son. That has just been weighing on my mind. That's where I want to go. Or maybe it's that I am just spending money like it grows on trees, and we live out in Arizona and there's no trees, you know, or whatever. So the reality is you let the client define what it is they're dealing with and what's front and center on their mind. That's where the motivation is. That's where change will happen. So it is a radically different perspective. The clarity one is another one that is so much fun. You have people that have goals, or actually let's just use the analogy of weight. We'll just use the analogy of weight. So somebody says, you know, I just want to lose weight. Well, how clear is that? I just want to lose weight. How long have you wanted to lose weight? Forever. How clear is that? Not very clear. So as a coach, the approach is going to be, what does losing the weight give you? Literally, followed by silence. So that the person can begin to say, okay, so I lost the weight. What's different about my life? What is it that I even have behind wanting to lose the weight? And again, you ask appropriate questions, but literally, one of my early on questions would probably be, how much weight do you want to lose? And a lot of times, people have come nowhere near thinking that through. I just need to lose a bunch. And it's like, well, what's a bunch? Well, I got to lose all 4 pounds. You know, well, as a coach, I just learned something. Because I might have been thinking they needed to lose 40 pounds, you know? But we're going to go where their motivation is. So we have them identify, what is it that you actually want to change, and how much? By when? Another great question. Rather than me having the solution of, well, okay, you need to lose 30, if you lose 10 every month, we can do this in 3 months, sign here. That is not the approach of a coach. The approach of a coach is going to be, by when do you want to lose your 4 pounds or your 20 pounds? And a lot of times, and I was going to probably use this analogy later, but it just happens so often that I have to share it now. The typical response when a question like that is asked, the head goes back, the eyes go into the head, and they say, good question. And this is, you know, in the analogy, this is somebody that wants to lose weight. They don't know how much they want to lose or by when. They just have been dealing with this heavy weight on their shoulders of, I got to lose weight. Sometimes they don't even know why they want to lose weight, what it's going to do for them. So they end up processing. And in the case of a coach, you give them a window of time to think so that they get to come up with that.